here's your host, Chelsea Edwards.
Welcome to another episode of Chattin with Chelsea. I'm your daytime bestie, Chelsea Edwards. Today's guest is a man who took his relationship mistakes, put them on the internet, and somehow turned them into one of the top podcasts in the world. Laterras R. Whitfield is a 3-time Emmy-nominated producer, and he's married now, okay? He is also the mastermind behind the wildly popular Dear Future Wifey podcast that has brought us unforgettable moments like this one.
Because some people be like, God can't disappoint you. You know, he's a good father. He is, you know, and he has the best intentions for you. But your life does not. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Bruh, we gonna keep this? I can't even reach it, bro. This is beyond embarrassing. Wait a minute. Bruh.
Okay, that is my producer's favorite moment from Dear Future Wifey. I mean, that is unforgettable.
Yes, it is. It's a billion views later. That video's gotten billion views worldwide.
And you've had you had a really good belly laugh on there.
I laugh from my soul. Do you understand me?
Yes.
I laugh from every fiber of my being. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, because I did not see that coming. Well, I have to congratulate you, Laterras, on a couple things. Getting married, for one.
Amen.
There it is. Yes, show it off.
Yes, there it is. There it is.
Yes.
Look, right there.
I love it. Nice bling
Thank
as
you,
well.
thank you.
Yes.
I want everybody to know I'm off the market.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, because they've been asking.
Oh, yeah. I've been having some strange ones, relocating to Dallas. I had some stalkers and all that. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, now y'all know he is off the market.
Absolutely.
And congratulations on being an author, student of love, the new book.
Praise God for that.
Yes. Okay, we're going to get into the book and a lot more, but I want to roll back to the podcast because that is how you have become a household name through Dear Future Wifey. Now, you have been upfront about previously being a serial cheater, going through divorce. I want to know, at what point did you decide to blast that to be upfront with everybody about that?
So in 2020, I did an episode. The podcast launched April the 15th of 2020. And a couple of months, about a month later, I ended up bringing a guest on. This is the middle of COVID. And so I had to get guests on the podcast that were my personal friends, people that, you know, trusted me to come on the podcast and not catch COVID, basically.
Yeah.
And so I called up my buddy Joey Greco, who used to be the host of the TV show Cheaters. And so while doing this episode, I said I would be remiss if I didn't admit to my own infidelity in my past marriage. And so my wife, thank God, she never outed me or blasted me on social media. I had been divorced 5 years at that point. And before I released that episode, I sent it to my ex-wife and I said, hey, I want you to take a look at this. I know you always told me never to speak about this publicly while we were married, but now since I'm divorced, I believe that this is a part of my healing journey. Can you watch the episode so you'll be comfortable with if you get any type of pushback or questions from your friends and family? And she watched the episode and she said, you know what, this is what I like most about you, is that you know how to take accountability, you know how to own your mistakes, and the biggest thing is that you didn't pass blame on me. You didn't say you cheated because I didn't do X, Y, Z. I said in that episode I cheated because I had a lack of integrity.
Wow.
And so at that point began the biggest part of my healing journey, to be able to be transparent and vulnerable. I used to deal with seeking people's approval. And so to be able to share that publicly and say, hey, listen, God delivered me from people's opinion and I'm a heal out loud, was the biggest step to my healing journey.
Wow. And did it take you a while to take that accountability just within yourself? It was from the jump.
Yeah, because I told her.
Okay.
She didn't know about it. I told her when we were married, I hated. See, I was one of those guys that used to really reprimand my homeboys for cheating. When I got married, I always said that I would never cheat. It was not something that I desired to become. I wasn't one of those type of guys that was like, when I get married, listen, all men cheat. That's just what we do.
Right.
I was like, no, it just shows a moral flaw. And so I remember one of my homeboys told me, he said, when you get married, then you can talk to me about it. Because he was cheating on his wife. And I was like, why would you cheat? Why would you get married to cheat and all that? He said, when you get married, then you can talk to me about it. And I was like, well, when I get married, I ain't going to never cheat.
It's not going to be my problem.
It ain't going to be my problem. And then I found myself becoming everything that I despised. But I was so surprised that when I shared that on that podcast, I didn't get not one negative comment under that episode. So I knew it was God that was guiding me to actually be transparent. And I got a lot of men and women DMing me saying, hey, how do I share with my wife? How do I share with my husband the infidelity that they don't even know about, that I've done? And so I've walked them through that gently. I've done Zoom calls with them and had them confess to their spouses things that they had done, and I've watched their marriage get stronger.
Oof, incredible stuff.
Yeah.
Now, we've got to take a quick commercial break, but when we come back, we're going to talk about the book and your new wifey. Okay, guys, we'll be right back after this. Dear Future Wifey has become the go-to for real, raw conversations about love and so much more. And now Laterras Whitfield also has a book. Okay, it's Student of Love. Are there things in the book that haven't been aired on the podcast?
Absolutely. I go deeper into what led to the podcast. I talk about heartbreak that I've experienced and, when I was growing up, and love, and even talking more about how my kids came to be. My daughter was born my senior year in high school. I deep dive into that. So I just take people on a full encompassing journey to learn who I am and what allowed me to become a student of love, in hopes other people take that same oath and do the same.
What did it take to write this book? Was this over time of you, sitting down with yourself and having to recall some things you learned in therapy, or what?
Yeah, it took about 1.5 years to even do the book proposal and to write the book in its entirety and go through all the rewrites. But it took a lot of me going back and revisit things that I thought I had forgotten about. But then when you have a conversation, it'll trigger a moment. You go, gosh, I remember when this happened, and I remember when that happened. And it also served as a great baseline that I wrote this book when I was single. I remember when I was recording the audio book, I was like, wow, I'm hearing the audio director give me notes, and I'm so acceptable to change it or whatnot. But now when I was engaged with the lovely wife that I have, Ashley, I found myself defensive in areas. And I was like, why don't I give her the same grace when she's trying to give correction or feedback as I would a total stranger? So I even called her right when I left. I recorded the audio book in Puerto Rico, and I called her and I said, listen, I want to do a better job on receiving feedback from you. And she was just like, what? I said, yeah, I just noticed that while I was in the studio that the engineer, I felt like he had good intentions, and I get defensive when you try to correct me. I said, I'm going to do better on that.
Because she has good intentions as well.
Yeah,
otherwise
amen.
She wouldn't have chosen.
Amen.
Right? Okay.
Amen.
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 What does it take to be a student of love as opposed to just a seeker of love?
A student tries to become better. A seeker of love is someone that tries to just find a mate. They're saying, listen, I want to find the right person. A student of love says love isn't about finding the right person, it's about becoming the right person. And so it takes the responsibility on oneself and says, I want to become that which I desire.
Beautiful. Have you had to become some other things lately as well? Now that it's official, you've been married 3 weeks now.
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
3
so
weeks. 3 whole weeks.
Very fresh.
Yeah, very fresh.
What are some things that you've learned already being married?
To be very patient,
Okay.
A lot of times with my own personal interviews while I'm traveling, I just got to worry about myself. I get dressed, throw my stuff in, but I have to put her needs ahead of mine. Now I'm packing her stuff before I pack my own stuff. So I'm packing my stuff after the fact. Nice. I have to sit now and make sure that I have makeup artists or scheduled in a city prior to getting there. I never had to worry about that as a single man. So it's like everything is all encompassing patience.
It's a good skill. You hang on to that skill, okay?
Learn how to take down sew-ins.
Yeah. Doing it all. That's an A+ husband for you right there. You doing
I'm
it
taking
all.
down sew-ins. I'm like, okay, let me get that rat tail comb. Let me go and do this.
That's a bonding exercise is what that is.
It is. Oh my gosh. I forget what I got to do the whole day. Let me just go ahead and take down these sew-ins.
Yes. So y'all had a lot of build-up. Here's the thing. I mean, people have been listening to this podcast, and you know, as we mentioned before, women, you know, wondering when they go get their chance with you.
Amen.
So you announced that you have found the one. But then you kept it secret, kept her secret. What went into that decision?
And I would like to reframe that. I didn't keep her secret, I kept her private.
Yes.
Yeah, and so from a private standpoint, I know she's not the type that cared about all the public fanfare. She was the type, even on social media, she only had like 2,500 followers. She posted once or twice a year. She wasn't into all that. And so I know how overwhelming it could be to now be, hey, this is a woman that I'm engaged to, and now everybody's getting triggered, everybody's on the DMs, everybody's wishing you well. Some people may be wishing you well, and other people may be wishing you to hell. So at the end of the day, I want to make sure I protected it. I remember my boy Jerry Flowers said, make sure that people don't put their fingerprints in the cement before it dries up. Ooh, and so I want to make sure that the only fingerprints that was on our love story was that of God and each other. And so I didn't want everybody else weighing in and criticizing stuff. And so we built something extremely solid so that when we did make it public for the world, we invited everybody there on our own merit. We live streamed the wedding for those who have been on this journey with me for the last 5 years, and we invited them in on it. Thank you.
Yes. What was the budget?
$150,000.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Ooh, well, we can't quite afford that Hero Championship. We have to pay some bills. We're going to take a commercial break anyway. But when we come back, you guys, your new wife is here, so we get to meet her in person as well. We'll be right back after this. Laterras R. Whitfield, host of Dear Future Wifey podcast, has found his actual wifey. Welcome, Ashley R. Whitfield. Now, Laterras showed off his ring, so we got to see yours as well. It's a beauty. It is and there's special meaning in there as well, right?
Yeah, it's a lot. The prongs are being held up by 2 W's on each side. So it's a W on one side for my last name, a W for her last name, her maiden name, Woods. It's 31 rubies inside the band of the ring, representing the Proverbs 31 woman, saying that she's more precious than rubies.
Oh, and, wow. See, I don't even want to hold it because I can't afford it. Anything happens.
It's a W in the back, so it's a band within a band. And so it's beautiful. It's 12 carats.
Wow. Oh, my goodness. Beautiful ring. Absolutely beautiful ceremony, which you live streamed. Let's go back, though, because y'all were actually friends before you proposed, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, tell us about that.
Talk about it, Ashley.
Well, when we met in November. Did he tell you?
No, we didn't even get into that yet.
Yeah. Okay.
He was saving it.
Mm-hmm. Well, we met in November.
The 26th of 2023.
Oh, see?
And you know the date.
Oh, yeah, I always remember.
This is a real good husband right here.
I remember. And so I was doing the podcast at Cali Worship in California, and Erica Campbell and Warren Campbell's church. And so they invited me to do the podcast. After the taping of the first episode, I was out in the lobby. Well, I was actually in the sanctuary talking to people, and Ashley walked up to just say how much she enjoyed the podcast. And before I knew it, I grabbed her hand like so, and then I just walked out the sanctuary.
Like this, babe.
I locked my fingers like that?
I think so.
That's so inappropriate. Why would I do something like that?
Wow, Ashley, what were you thinking? Were you just like, oh, he is fresh? Should have slapped him right there.
Okay, maybe it was like
that.
Like this. Maybe it was like that.
Yeah, I just grabbed her hand like this, and I walked out the sanctuary, and I caught myself in the lobby, and I was like, oh, my bad. And so then I started talking to her, getting to know her, whatnot. She had told me that she had friends that be on the podcast, and I don't know what it was, but I just felt a drawing towards her. I just felt connected to her. And so I asked her to DM me. I didn't want people in the lobby to see me getting her phone number. And so I was like, hey, DM me. I want to keep in touch with you. And so
you actually did it.
Yeah, she did.
I was like, I'm not about to DM you.
That was an inner monologue.
Yeah,
Didn't say that out loud.
You had the romantic underlying feelings the whole time, or what?
No, it was straight like after the first 5 days of us just getting to know each other. She had said some things that she felt like, she basically friend zoned me, and when we friend zoned each other, feeling like we just wasn't aligned. She was saying that whoever her husband was, she wanted them to live in LA. She felt like her husband was gonna be in LA or whatnot. And I was like, I don't see myself moving to LA. It can't be me. You know what I'm saying? And so, I tried to put some feelers out there. I said, so if God had your husband in a different state, you wouldn't leave? She was like, oh no. I would never leave. She said, I was born in LA, that's where I'm gonna be, and I just, And I said, Probably about 6 months later, she started dating some other guy, and then she said, you know what, I've actually opened my mind up to be willing to live in another state.
Rolled that
so I was
back.
like, all right.
Yeah.
And so we just kept continuing our friendship. And then around February of this year, 2025, I had a dream about her, and it was the first time I ever got jealous with the thought of her being with somebody else. So I called her up and said, hey, listen, I want to know if there's more to us than just platonic friendship. Can I take you on a date? And I said, what's your earliest availability? That was the end of February. She said March the 18th. And I said, all right. So I booked the flight right then, and I said, I'm coming to see you on March the 18th.
Oh, see, he'll do it if he wants to.
Yes, he will.
That's a lesson from
Yes,
there.
he will.
Ashley.
And he did.
Yes.
Ashley, at what point did you know he was for real?
Well, I think on my birthday.
Okay.
On my birthday, I knew he was for real. He was at church, and when he got out of church, he called me and he said, are you busy this afternoon? And I said, no, what's up? And he said, I need you to go to Tiffany's. And I was like, but you already sent flowers, you sent this
Okay.
pretty card, like, what's at Tiffany's?
I like the sound of it, though.
Right? It was a very good sound. So I said, okay. So I got in the car, I went to Tiffany's. He goes, I also need you to record this. I was like, okay. Gotta go to Tiffany's, gotta record this. Headed to Tiffany's, went inside, and they had a beautiful necklace that he had given me called the Open Heart Necklace. And it was about all of the things that he wanted me to fill my heart with, which were things that he was kind of pouring into us and what we were building, and wrote this really beautiful card just describing his intention for our relationship and what we were building together. And just 2 days prior, he had written a card that said that it would be the last birthday that we would spend apart, which I thought was very intentional. And I'm like, oh, that's strong. The last birthday that we're going to spend apart. And so I loved his love letters to me. But that really hit different because I knew he said, I don't want to go spend all this money on this necklace for somebody who's not my wife.
I said that. I said, I
You
ain't got
know,
time for that. I
he
don't
said
be
this-
tricking off no money, man. I ain't one of them dudes.
He said, this is not a cheap necklace. And so I knew because he mentioned that God sort of convicted him and said, like, if this, well, I don't want to speak for you.
Yeah, what God told me was, I sent her some flowers. I said, that's good enough. And then God said that, I was in church, he said, if that was your wife, would that be all that you got her? I said, no, I really want to get this necklace. I want to get this necklace for my wife. He said, so why don't you get the necklace? And I said, man, I ain't finna go get this girl this expensive necklace, and this girl ain't, she ain't reciprocated. She ain't told me she want me like that. And God said, but that's what you feel, go do it. And I said, I hope this don't backfire on me. I'm gonna go get this necklace, and I'm gonna go do it. And so I did that, and I'm very transparent. I told her, I said, listen, I don't feel comfortable getting you this necklace. It costs too much as a first gift to give to somebody, and we're not even committed to each other, But I had told her a week and a half prior to that I'm committed to you before the commitment. And I said, I am going to lead with intention until you become a believer.
Yeah, I think that is what we look for when it comes to guys, that intention and that you were purposeful in your actions. So you also presented Ashley with 300 letters that you wrote during this time that you were looking for your future wifey. Ashley, have you read those letters? Like they were presented at the wedding.
They were.
Have you dug into that box yet?
I have not. The reason why is because we have been on a whirlwind tour of the world. Since the moment we got married, we have not stopped. I did peek into the box one night.
Okay.
I didn't even tell you. I peeked into the box one night, but I'm going to sit down. I want it to be thought out. I want it to be intentional. I want to give it all of the time that it deserves, because I've heard many of the letters. But for me, I'm super emotional when it comes to letters, and those are some of my favorite gifts. So his words are really powerful, and I can't be a train wreck because we've just been on this whirlwind tour. So I've got to find some time where I can just sit with the letters and read them.
Yes, I mean, yeah, definitely be ready to cry because he's a great writer. We'll be able to find out more about that in this book as well. You guys are going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back right after this. Laterras, Ashley, it has been such a pleasure having you. I do have to mention, Ashley, you are joining the Dear Future Wifey podcast. That will stay the same name, even though you are the wifey.
Yeah.
Okay, co-hosting, getting into that. That's going to be exciting.
It is going to be very excited. Our first episode is airing on
December the 31st.
December 31st. I just didn't want to be wrong. I'm new to this.
All right. But you're true to this as well now.
I'm true to
Okay.
Yeah.
Laterras, where can people find the book?
On studentoflove.com. That's the base camp for everything Student of Love. You'll know about the book tour. You'll know about how to get involved in special Q&As, and Ashley's going to host her own book club on Student of Love. And so, yeah, go to studentoflove.com and sign up for the mailing list.
All right, we love it. Okay, guys, keep up with us on social at Chelsea Show Fox. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Chattin with Chelsea, and we'll see you on the next Chattin with Chelsea. All right?